Hi, Desiree. This is Emma Goss, reporter for KTVU. I'm coming to you live. I'm actually coming to you from our KTVU van, and we're in Richmond today. Can you say your name first and last for me, please?
Hi, I'm Desiree Heveroh, light station keeper of East Brother Light Station.
And will you spell your name as well for me?
Desiree
Thank you. So like you said, you're in the East Brothers Lighthouse. You are a lighthouse keeper. How did you end up becoming a resident of this lighthouse? You said that during COVID, you needed to be there.
Yeah, well, I always knew I was going to live here. So destiny brought me here, but technically it was during COVID. The innkeepers left because there's no guests for months and months. And we've never had to deal with figuring out what we were going to do. I don't think any of us were prepared for COVID, right? And we couldn't leave it empty. Otherwise, it would succumb to vandals and robbers. So I volunteered, and we also got Captain Jared Ward because at the beginning I didn't know how to drive a boat. I didn't know how to change out the propane tanks and things like that. So Jared was amazing, getting me caught up, and I've been here since July 1st, 2020. It's been amazing.
It is amazing because the lighthouse is really special to a lot of people, yourself included. Could you tell me, I know it's a bed and breakfast, it's also a very historic place. Tell me a little bit about the lighthouse.
Well, it was built in 1873. Well, the rock was blasted off in 1873. The light was lit for the first time in 1874. So one full year, not bad for, nowadays permits and stuff like that would have taken so much longer. But it's been here longer than Richmond was even a city. Richmond was incorporated, I believe, in 1905. So this is the oldest building in Richmond. People who have been here can tell you this place is magic. It's covered in magic. And it means so much to me that it means so much to everyone. Everyone's really been showing up with amazing support, and it makes us feel incredible.
It's a really cool place if you're able to actually get out there. It's on an island, it's historic, like you said, and people can stay the night when it's open. You said it hasn't been open during COVID, and then and so you are like the person on the ground keeping it there basically, and away from people who shouldn't be entering it. And then during April, it's an old lighthouse. So the submarine cable came down. Tell me about that.
Right. So the submarine cable started flickering, and we looked across to see if any of the lights on shore were going out, and they weren't. So we knew it was on our end. The last time the submarine cable was replaced was in 1991. Greek lightning storm took it out. So it was 30 years it lasted, but these waters are treacherous, they're salty, everything gets eroded. As we know, we're a nonprofit. Everything that we make goes back into keeping the light station going. If it's metal, it rusts out. If it's wood, it turns to dust. So she constantly needs help. The plumbing's old, the electrical's old. With no power, things like water pressure don't work. So flushing the toilets, washing your hands, and anything more than a dribble, showering, yeah, right. It's been really interesting.
You've had to be very innovative, very creative to keep warm, take showers. You've been catching rainwater. You've done a lot on your own in the last couple of months to keep things going for yourself.
Being here was already like being back in time, but that was even more. I was peeling bark off the eucalyptus trees for kindling. As you mentioned, catching the rainwater. We don't have plumbing from the mainland, even when there is power. So we catch all water when there's rainfall. And of course, as you know, we're facing drought in California. So we didn't catch very much this year. So and then keeping warm with the kindling. I had some solar chargers out all day to charge my phone up. the generator from the 1930s. I could start, I call him Gentry. I could start him about twice a day for power, maybe about an hour each time. Real power for things like showering, which I could only do about twice a week, because you have to make the most of those hours of power. And
So for me, that sounds really, really difficult to say the least. But I know you find it. You're okay. Tell me, how do you feel doing all this? You had said like it's been like the best year of your life. You had mentioned to me off Zoom.
that's right. It has been the best year of my life, and I don't mind the extra steps. And there are a lot of extra steps involved when you don't have electricity. Let me tell you. But I don't mind them. I get to be here in this once in a lifetime. Even the innkeepers don't get to enjoy this island the way that I've been able to. So any extra work that I have to do to deserve to be here, I'm happy to.
I commend you wholeheartedly, and you are like the best person to be like manning this ship, so to speak, like taking care of things. Tell me about the fundraising efforts on the way, because I know that it is an expensive undertaking to repair that cable, something like $150,000 just for the cable itself, and then it could be anywhere from 800,000 or $1 million to lay it in. You've said people have been generous. You had a GoFundMe. How's that been going?
So people really just turned out in droves right away. The support was incredible, but of course our opt-in community has been tapped out. We've been trying really hard to reach out and get to people who haven't heard of us yet, and people like yourself being interested in spreading the good word of our story out there have been why that has been successful. But once the community saw that it's kind of capped out at the GoFundMe amount, they said, hey, let's get together. Timber was like, we can sell merch, we can get together and save the lighthouse. And he got a big crew of businesses in on it. About a week or two before that, our namesake East Brother Beer Company dedicated their freighter series. The proceeds of sales of that go to help us, and people can get great merch and find a way to like really help us. And I don't know, it just feels like I know we're gonna get out of this fine. I know we're gonna continue to see guests, hundreds of thousands of guests. I see the faith from everyone, and we can feel it here on the island.
I think you said when we last talked on the phone, like you were halfway to 150,000. So that's like you got like 75,000 more to go plus installation fees. Do you think you can make it, or do you really need more community support, or some kind of miracle to strike?
If miracles could happen anywhere, they would happen here. Let me tell you. But obviously, we want the more people who know about us, the better. I mean, in general, all around, for when there's not power, when there is power, when the inns reopen, community support's never a bad thing. And like I said, I believe that we're going to do this just fine.
I hope so, because not just because you live there, but also because it's a business. It's a really wonderful place for people to tour and stay at as a bed and breakfast. But you mentioned that during COVID it's been closed, and then a year after that, you imagine a lot more people holding gift certificates are going to cash those in and attend. So you're really looking at not making a profit on this inn or bed and breakfast for like it could be over 2 years, which is a little frightening in terms of keeping it alive.
All of that is true. We have been closed since March 16th of 2020 when quarantine hit. So over a year. We're not a for-profit business. We are a nonprofit, but we can't think about things like the entire fence, the fence around the whole perimeter of the island needs to be replaced. The gangway rail needs to be replaced. There were a lot of repairs that we were going to start saving up for once we opened again, and then the cable happened, and those costs they seem insurmountable, but I don't believe that this community is going to let anything happen to them.
Is time of the essence, though?
Time is definitely an important factor. We can't sit here indefinitely like this. So we do have, we're working on things, even long-term temporary fixes that could give us some time to get started. You know, we're just doing the best we can. We're throwing ideas out there. We're doing the research. We're having the experts come, giving us quotes. This would cost, how much that would cost. Everyone's got lots of ideas, and we've been taking them all very seriously.
You mentioned that maybe there's a company out there that might give you a reduced rate on the installation fee itself. Okay.
Yeah, if the cable, you know, paid for, it's still a lot because there are permits and staff that has to be paid. It's a multi-day process. So fuel, the ship, the crew, you know, all of that does cost, but we do have a company that is willing to sort of work with us somewhat. It's still a lot, but it's a lot better than what it could be.
Thank you so much for your time and for doing all the work that you do at the lighthouse to keep things going and keep things tidy over there. Is there anything I left out from this conversation?
Just that once we reopen again, I just encourage all of you to come out and experience the magic. Every one of you who has shared our story or told people about our story, you guys are helping save us, and we want to see you out here, and thank you for it.
I certainly have never had the opportunity, and it would be a pleasure one day to go visit that lighthouse, the East Brothers Lighthouse. So thank you so much, Desiree.
You have no idea. It's a one of a kind experience.
Yes, I totally believe that. I can't, you know, hope enough that things turn around and we get things back in order, power-wise and profits-wise. So keep up the good work, and thank you again so very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you too, and I'll see you out here.
Yeah.